Okay, we're live. So, verse 3. Tamika datu devarshim vasudeva griha gatam architam sukam ashinam abhivadyedam abravit. Translation by the disciples of Srila Prabhupada. One day, the sage among the demigods, Narada, came to the house of Vasudeva. After worshipping Narada with suitable paraphernalia, seating him comfortably and respectfully bowing down to him, Vasudeva spoke as follows. Verse 4. Shri Vasudeva Uvacha Bhagavan Bhavato Yatra Svastya Sarva Dehinam Kripanam Yata Pitror Uttamashloka Vartmanam. Translation. Shri Vasudeva said, My Lord, your visit, like that of a father to his children, is for the benefit of all living beings. You especially help the most wretched amongst them, as well as those who are advanced on the path toward the Supreme Lord Uttamashloka. Purport. Vasudeva herein describes the glories of Narada Muni. The words Kripanam Yata Prityor Uttamashloka Vartmanam are significant. Kripananam refers to the most wretched persons, whereas Uttamashloka Vartmanam refers to the most fortunate, those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness. Sridhara Swami has stated, Tata Bhagavat Rupasya Bhavato Yatra Sarva Dehinam Svastaya iti. The word Bhagavat Rupasya indicates that Narada Muni is an expansion of the Supreme Lord, and that his activities therefore bring immense benefit for all living beings. In the first canto of Srimad Bhagavatam, Narada Muni is described as a manifestation of the mercy of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. There, it is stated that Narada is especially empowered to give instructions in the art of devotional service to Krishna. Narada is especially able to advise the conditioned souls as to how they can dovetail their present activities with the devotional service of Krishna without unnecessarily disrupting their present life. That's us. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati has defined the word Kripana by quoting from the Brihat Aranyaka Upanishad 3.8.10. Etad aksharam gargi avidivitsamal lokat praiti sa Kripana. O daughter of Gargacharya, he who leaves this world without learning about the infallible Supreme is a Kripana or miser. In other words, we are awarded the human form of life so that we may understand our eternal blissful relationship with the Supreme Personality of Godhead. As indicated in verse 2 of this chapter by the word Indriyavan, the human body is especially awarded so that we may serve the Supreme Lord Krishna. This human form of body is the greatest fortune because the highly evolved intelligence of human life enables us to understand Krishna, the absolute truth. If we are unable to understand our eternal relationship with God, we shall derive no permanent benefit whatsoever. We just spoke about it yesterday, permanent and impermanent. We can derive no permanent benefit whatsoever in this present life, nor can we ultimately benefit others. One who receives a great treasure but can neither use it himself nor dedicate it to the happiness of others is called a miser. So this human body is a great treasure. Therefore, a person who leaves this world without having understood his actual position as servant of God is called a Kripana or miser. This verse states that Narada Muni is so empowered in the devotional service of Krishna that he can lift even miserly rascals out of their illusion, just as a kind father goes to his child and wakes him from a distressing nightmare. Ram just woke up. It's Krishna miracle. And he's crying. Our present materialistic life is just like a troublesome dream from which great souls such as Narada can wake us. Narada Muni is so powerful that even those already advanced in devotional service to Krishna can greatly enhance their spiritual position by hearing his instructions, as they will be given here in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. Therefore, Sri Narada is the guru and father of all living beings who are originally devotees of the Lord, but who are now artificially attempting to enjoy the material world in the material bodies of human beings, animals, and so on. These are the verses. Krishnadaya Prabhu, are you available to recite the prayers to bring in auspiciousness into our discussion? Krishnadaya Prabhu.
ॐ ज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनाशलाखय चक्षुरुन्मिलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतात्पदकमलं श्रीगुरुं वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितां तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनासहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च हे कृष्णा करुणा सिन्धो दीनबन्धो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कान्ता राधा कान्ता नमोस्तुते तप्त कांचना गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्येव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः नमो ॐ विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमते भक्तिवेदान्तस्वामिनिति नामे नमस्ते सरस्वती देवी गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्यदेशतारिणे जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे.
Thank you very much, Krishnadaya and Adoksha Prabhus. Adipusha Prabhu, so should we have a discussion, or maybe we should play Srila Prabhupada's class? What do you think? Unmute yourself, please.
Hare Krishna, let's just go on with the class. Everybody can contribute. But
Okay.
devotees have really been chipping in lately and participating interactively. It's very rich. And Gail was just telling me yesterday, or the day before on the phone, that it enhances the presentation of Srimad Bhagavatam when everyone is contributing and speaking.
Great, thank you. So we're going to have a Naimisharanya forest today. We're all in the forest. So this purport is talking about people who aren't taking proper advantage of their human body, and people who are already advanced on the path of devotion. And this both categories can greatly benefit by hearing from a sage like Narada Muni, who is empowered to wake them up. And I remember this devotee, Ujjaswat Prabhu. He's a disciple of Srila Prabhupada. He was once given class at the Bhakti Center, and he was talking about this wake up call that we receive in life by Krishna's grace and by the grace of devotees. When we're having our nightmare, like it was being described in the purport, we're dreaming, there are all kinds of nightmares and creatures and tigers and everybody's chasing us. And then Narada Muni comes in, the divine instigator, and wakes us up. And the question from the audience for Ujjwal Prabhu was, why does this wake-up call have to be so disruptive and painful? Why can't it be just gentle, soft? Why can't somebody come and just kiss us on the cheek or something? And Ujjwal Prabhu looked at the person like, it's just so obvious. And he looked at them, made big eyes and said, because we're lazy. That's why. Somebody has to come and slap us because we're lazy. We're covered over by this tendency to fall
So,
for illusion.
Srila Prabhupada mentions that he gives the analogy of medicine. And he said that if a person is, eager for healing, the doctor will say, okay, this is the medicine. It tastes bitter. You take this every 4 hours for the next 10 days. It may not taste good. But if the person is a little less able to understand that this is bitter, but it's good for me, then for example, with a child, they'll take the medicine and crush it into powder and put it in colored water and add sugar and administer, not only knowing what the prescription is, but how to administer it. So he gives the child sugar water with the medicine dissolved in there. And then if the person is completely unconscious, a good physician will know how to administer it to that person by giving it a hypodermic needle injection. So it can be administered in different ways. And the administrator, the doctor, um, is reaching out to the diseased people in various ways, depending on their ability to be receptive. In the purport, Prabhupada, it wasn't Prabhupada's purport. The devotees mentioned that miser, there are two aspects of being a miser. If we don't take advantage of this and apply it in our own life, we are a miser. And it's also miserly if we're not giving it to someone else. We have a Muslim friend who was saying, I'm apprehensive that my spiritual life becomes stagnant. Like if there's water pouring into a low place and it makes a pond, the water becomes stagnant, and then all kinds of green, slimy stuff grows in there, and it's not very palatable. But he said, but if the pond has an outlet, besides the fact that water's coming in, if it's going out, then the water's flowing through that pond, and the water stays very pure. So he said, so our spiritual life becomes stagnant if we do not give it, besides getting it. So we don't want to be miserly, and we don't want to become stagnant, according to what we heard today. Anyway, sorry to talk so long. Glories to Prabhupada.
Thank you, Adipusha Prabhu.
Ananda Bahari Bill. May I say one thing?
Venerable-
Can you hear me okay?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah, I was just reflecting on the question of why does it have to be so harsh when we get the wake-up call from great sages like Narada Muni, and the person that you were saying is because we're lazy. I was thinking a little bit more about that, and was thinking about, when you're really, really deeply asleep and someone's trying to wake you up and they're just sort of gently shaking you. You kind of wake up a little bit, but then you so quickly just fall right back asleep. Or you've had that experience when you're trying to wake someone up and you don't really want to be, rough with them, and you try gently. And I've had that experience. Like you can like shake them and try and try and try and try, and then they kind of like, oh yeah, oh, and you think they're waking up, but then it's almost like they just keep getting sucked back down. So it makes sense, like what you were saying, like how deeply we're asleep and covered by just all these years of conditioning, thinking that this, I'm driving a car right now, that this is the actual eternal reality, when it's not at all. That it really, it's not going to work if someone just sort of gently taps you on the shoulder or kisses you on the cheek or whispers in your ear. You're just gonna fall right back asleep. So I like that analogy a lot. It's very helpful. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Venamaduri. Thank you very much for expanding on this analogy. I was picturing Bhima Prabhu rubbing his nose on my cheek, and I'm deep asleep. And Bhima Prabhu, and his beard is very rough.
Damn, dude, stop now.
Okay. Venkatabara Prabhu is here. Venkatabara Prabhu, how wonderful to have you. Please.
Hare Krishna, so nice to be here. I was just going to listen along as I start my morning here, but I couldn't resist because, I can't resist a good analogy. But I was just thinking, to this point of when you wake someone up, I have, as a parent, I've had this experience with my daughter where I will wake her up, and often it's she, especially now that she's older, she'll tell me like the night before, oh, please wake me up by 6. I need to wake up and I need to do a little studying or whatever before I go to school. So I need to wake up by 6. But then when it's the actual morning time and she's, deep in that sleepy state, she'll try to come up with all sorts of excuses about why she should keep sleeping. And I was just reflecting that, as a parent, then it's my responsibility, even if sometimes it's being a little apparently rough or using some strong word or not giving up on her, but it's my responsibility to wake her up, not just for myself, but because she expressed the desire. And so I was thinking, for us, we all have the innate desire to be woken up, to be reunited with Krishna. It's not anyone else's desire. It's actually our heart's desire, the desire of the Atman. And so, yeah, just thinking of it that way helps me to, reframe even the apparently sort of jolting, rude awakening. It's not really rude. It's a loving parent or family member trying to help us to be in integrity with what we actually want for ourselves and need for ourselves.
Thank you, Venkatabara Prabhu. Yeah, we should see Krishna's love in hand in what appears to be a rough experience. Jamuna Jaya.
Oops. Hey Krishna. First, I want to say I didn't want to speak because we have so many wonderful people. So I'd love to hear Madan Gopal and Nityananda Chandra have something to say. And I'm glad Bhagavatam Bhakta spoke since we have such great speakers here. But so mainly I want to ask them to please speak. But I was struck by a few things in this. One is right off the top, it talked about mercy. Well, first, one of the things I love looking at verses like this is it shows the etiquette of how people are greeted, and it's that I've always loved that we should have to remember that we have the opportunity to be in the presence of great souls, and they should be treated, in the right way. And then it talks about mercy, and I always think that Narayana Muni's like traveling mercy. He goes there and there and there and there and there and there and there, and it is true when great souls that we should greet with respect come into our lives. And at the Bhakti Center, we're very lucky that we have people all the time come in. We should be hungry and really take in their mercy and treat them with respect. And then there's one other thing that at the end of the second purport, it talks about artificially attempting to enjoy. And I always find that very comforting to know that it's this material world, this what we're trying to do and be Lord and Master of the universe is artificial. It's not who we are. We often say that it's really a taking off of this artificial contamination that we've conflated with. So I always find that really encouraging. That's not who I am. I'm this beloved servant of Krishna. I've just forgotten my way. And this trying to enjoy is artificial and it's not actually me. And I need to stop it. But I always take comfort. It's not me. It's not me. So I can get out of it with Krishna's and with the mercy of the teacher. So Hare Krishna.
Thank you so much, Jamuna Jaya. So, great souls. Nityananda Chandra Prabhu. Your name was mentioned. Would you like to speak? Madam Gopal Prabhu, of course. Please.
I'll let the great souls go first. Where Nityananda Chandra? Wasn't he here? Or maybe. Okay, I guess you'll have to settle for me then. Right. Well, I like this question. why can't it be gentle? Like when a devotee gives us Krishna consciousness, it feels like a hard, rude awakening. Why can't it be gentle? And I think of it like waking someone from a deep sleep in a burning house. Can you imagine if the house is burning and then someone goes, a soft whisper, hey, the house is burning. Come on, do you want to go home? Or do you want to sleep in for a few more minutes? That doesn't even make sense. Soft whispers won't do. Compassionate friends shakes you. The house is burning, maybe even shouts, maybe even takes some water and puts on your face because the danger is real. It's a real danger. It's an urgent thing. In the same way, when a devotee shakes us out of illusion, it may feel uncomfortable only because we are dreaming peacefully, dreaming that this body, our possessions, our good name and fame, our plans, this is all that matters. But once we realize the house was on fire, then we only feel gratitude. See, so the truth is, by its nature, penetrating. It pierces through the layers of pride and comfort. When a saintly person speaks frankly, it can sting, but it heals like a surgeon's knife. It hurts only to remove a deeper disease. Bhagavatam says the words of a saint may sound harsh like thunderbolts, but actually soothing like nectar because they purify the heart. So, yes, even then, there is gentleness. The devotee's intention is never to hurt, only to awaken. That's why devotees are, by their nature, very gentle. Even the way they speak, the way they treat each other, the way they treat other people. The gentleness is the mark of an advanced devotee. Because the intention is only to awaken. So the strength of the word is actually a kind of customized, tailored mercy, proportionate to our receptivity. See, Bhaktisiddhanta said, if you decorate a dead body, it remains dead. I want to give you life. That may require some shaking. So the roughness we feel actually is not the devotee waking us up, it's our own resistance, not their lack of love. You see, mercy, the embodiment of mercy has two hands. One is tender and one is strong. The tender hand gives us sweetness, prasadam, holy name, beauty of Krishna's pastime. The strong hand pulls us away from attachments. So it's called Daya Shakti. Daya is soft, Shakti is intense, right? So the strong pulls us away from attachments that block the sweetness. Both are compassion. Sometimes Krishna comforts and sometimes he confronts, but both are parts of his embrace. See, so both hands, see, an embrace includes two hands, right? So if it hurts, then it's because the thorn is being pulled. The process of bhakti removes the thorn of that false identity, and that pinprick that we feel is the false ego resisting that healing. But the pain purifies, just like when we put gold in fire, it purifies it. So behind strong words, an actual devotee's heart is softer than butter. So even when they're shouting and thundering, Prabhupada did get angry quite a few times, but it was a transcendental anger. It's done out of love, and his eyes are moist with compassion for our sleeping souls. So gentleness isn't always about the tone, it's about the intention. So even when someone is shouting loudly, it's gentle if the intention is to save you, right? So real compassion is not about just being nice, it's about giving life.
Thank you, Manangopal Prabhu. Wonderful point. How the roughness that we're experiencing is our own resistance. It's not the devotee's fault that it has to be rough. It's our resistance at play here. I think there's one story in the Bhagavatam. I can't think of the name of the king, but he was being carried in a palanquin along the bank of the river, and the sun was setting, and the king was being rocked left and right, and he started dozing off. And you're not supposed to sleep when the sun is setting. It's inauspicious in the Vedic culture. And when somebody observed that the king was dozing off, they told him, "You're not supposed to sleep. Wake up. The sun is setting. Wake up. The sun is setting." And when the king heard these words, he understood the sun of my life is setting, and I need to wake up. So the king was very introspective and receptive to this. Externally, it was a cultural kind of a reminder, but he took it deeper. He took it as a wake-up call. Can anybody think of the name of this story? I tried to look it up and I couldn't find it. It's a wake-up call story from the Bhagavatam. There's so many other wake-up stories from the Bhagavatam. Can anyone think of a wake-up story in the Bhagavatam? When somebody received a wake-up call? Of course, Maharaj Parikshit, right? That was quite harsh. And look how he took it.
There's King
Lord
Muchakunda.
Chaitanya. Oh, sorry.
Well, in the Bhagavatam, King Muchakunda, you don't want to be the one waking him up.
Yeah. That's right.
Krishna used that to his advantage, and he made Kalyavan wake up King Muchakunda, and Muchakunda just burned him to
That's
ashes.
one of my favorite pastimes on Muchakunda. But I was also thinking, Dhritarashtra finally woke up at the end of his life. Finally, after everything, and he finally goes with Vidura. Took him a long time to wake up.
Yeah. When I wake up my teenage daughter, she's like total Muchukunda. I hear so many things. Yeah. Nityananda Chandra Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. What's the name of the king in Bhagavad Gita? I think it's chapter 2 where you have like a few moments to live. He got
Khatvanga?
that. He fought. Is that Katvanga? He fought for the demigods, and they told him, "Oh, I just want. What boon do you want? I just want to know how long I have to live." And he said, "Oh, you just got like a few moments."
Khatvanga, yeah.
Yeah.
And so what did he do?
He fully immersed himself in Krishna consciousness and achieved perfection. I was thinking about so you're mentioning the kind of harsh speech, like speaking strongly, like not whispering when the person's in the house that's on fire, which is a great one. Um, Chaitanya Charan Prabhu, he uh, talks about the discipline or the austerity of speech. So you have anudvegam karam vakyam satyam prihitam chayat swadhyaya abhyasanam shaiva vanmaya tapuchate, which actually fits nicely into my son's social studies textbook, where it gives the acronym think before you speak, but we add the letter S as well. So thinks, the Vaishnava thinks. So his words are truthful. They're for H is helpful, I is for inspiring, N is for necessary, K is for kind, but S is for sastric or sourced. He's swadaya. He speaks something that is properly sourced. And Chaitanya Charana was saying how you have a spectrum of sensitivity and sensibility, and sometimes you have to be sometimes more sensitive. Like if you're invited to your one of your relatives, you're not invited, but you're at a funeral for one of your relatives, and they're not all devotees, and you go up on the podium and say, "Well, it's okay. He's not the body. We're not the body. Everything's fine." That might be not so sensitive in that situation. But if you're invited as a priest to come and speak, it's like that's what they're asking you to speak. So you might say, "Oh, you're not the body." They wanted to hear that. Are sensitive, so that's being sensitive, and then sensible is like it's a house is on fire, or some kids are playing in the street, and you might like speak like a sailor, "Hey, get the hell out of the street, kids," or something. You might speak not in a very sensitive way, but a very strong way. And so yesterday we were speaking about these the spectrum that is there. There's purity and utility. Prabhupada said purity is the force and utility is the basis. This spectrum goes, it kind of mirrors a lot of things. You have purity and utility. You have religion and science, or religion and philosophy. You have idealism and opportunism. And these are like beans and rice. They're complete protein when they're taken together, and they work together. Like if you have utility without the purity, then you become just an opportunist, just whatever you is good for you. And then you have purity without any utility, then you're just an idealist, and you don't know how to you're like the person in the Mahabharata who will never tell a lie, even though your lie just got somebody killed. You know, Prabhupada gives the example. Bhishma Dev says in the Shanti Parva of Mahabharata, that a man took a vow, I'll never lie. And then the mafia comes looking for some, is one guy is running from the mafia. He says, "Can you hide me? I'm afraid these guys are going to kill me." He said, "Yeah, go in the attic." And then the mafia guy comes by and says, "Oh, we're looking for this guy. He looks a little anxious. Can you tell me where he's at?" "Oh yeah, he's in the attic." And then the guy gets killed. And Prabhupada says, that man went to hell for not lying. And so I was just, we were discussing this in our sage group yesterday. These kind of spectrum of the things that work well together. Another one is the compass and the map. You could be in lost in the forest, and a compass is kind of helpful, but it's not as helpful by itself. And a map is also kind of helpful, but just by on itself, it's not so helpful. It's good to have both. Like that compass is that sense of direction, the purity, the ideal that is there. But the map is the sense of flexibility, like, well, I need to go north, but there is a giant lake in between, so I need to head east first to get around it. You even there are many different examples. You have this, like a architect might have the ideal of how he wants to build a building, but the engineer knows, okay, well, on this side we have solid stone, this side we have sand, this side we have clay, so we need to adjust some of our process on this side, and on this side we need to put a very deep foundation. On this side we have solid stone. We don't really need to do much with the foundation. So that flexibility, but with proper direction. Just like Prabhupada, Bhaktisiddhanta told Prabhupada, "Oh, we don't need this Gandhi movement. We need to spread the mission of Lord Chaitanya." So it's like there is a sense purity is what was really important. And then when Prabhupada one time he asked the devotees, how will this movement go on in the future, when I'm not here? And devotees said purity. And Prabhupada said, no, organize, organize, organize. So utility. So you need utility, but with the direction of purity, with the direction of a proper ideal. So, Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Nityananda Chandra Prabhu. Sadhvi Didi, followed by Krishna Kumari.
Hare Krishna, thank you very, very much for today. Again, I have to say it from my side of the way what I'm doing and why I'm doing. I'm mother of 6 children. They're adults now. When I try to teach them about something or tell them about something or give them advices, I never gave the same thing that I gave to my first son or to my second son, the same thing to my daughter who was born as a 5th child, and so on and so on. So I did differently. Even though there were 3 boys, these 3 boys, I always held them or answered their question in different ways. Even if the question was exactly the same, my answer was different to each one of them. Why I did that? Because how I knew them, I knew that they don't take it to themselves if I would answer exactly the same way. but I gave them in the way that they could take it to themselves and they could accept it, not to cheat on them, but to just give them the possibility to be open and listen. And I used that method so that I could talk to them. And I believe it's the same thing when it comes to spirituality and preaching. We cannot. I don't feel that I can do it in the same way what I do with one person, exactly the same way with another. I try to. I believe to have a patience and to understand the person and to tell the person in the way that you know that this person going to take it to himself or to herself, and to listen to it, to be open for it, and to maybe analyze it later on for themselves, instead of saying, no, what you say is not right. No, I don't want to hear. So this is what I have used when I was having children at home, and still to today, when they ask me about about some advices, still today I use the same way. I don't answer the same way to each one of them. I do this differently. I answer differently to them. And they say, Mom, this is very good because you answer me to one way, and if you had said the same thing to my brother, he would not do it the way you told me. So today they say it was good method. So this is my thought. Thank you very much for today.
Thank you very much, Sadhvi Didi. I like asking the same questions to different devotees, and they all give answers that are always helpful, covering the issue from different angles. Thank you. Krishna Kumari.
Jeev Jago, wake up, sleeping soul. So just like Sadhvi was being so compassionate to her children, listening to them, Lord Chaitanya is also so compassionate to us, just encouraging us to wake up and not waste this life. And I do give that quote a lot by Ravindra Swarup, but it really sticks. He says, the golden age is happening, and we can choose to be a part of it or not. It's happening with or without us, so we might as well get with it. Chief Jago.
Thank you, Krishna Kumar. I remember one time in Mayapur, I was standing in a long line for Prashanam, and the person that was distributing Prashanam was a little slow, and the people in line were getting anxious because it was taking forever. And then this was one devotee, he came on the bike, and he started riding around the booth and kind of yelling, Jiv Jago, and everything everything sped up after that. So everybody was laughing when he said Jiv Jago to the slow distributor of Prashanam. There's something in the chat that Venkatabhata Prabhu put. Venkatabhata Prabhu, are you still here? Would you like to speak on this tailored approach to waken to this wake-up call? Somebody needs a louder wake-up call. Someone needs a gentler approach. It's a great point, Venkatabhata Prabhu. Would you like to elaborate on it if you're still here? No. Yeah, if you speak softer to a devotee like me, I won't even hear you. So I need a loud wake-up call. And wake-up call can come in the form of a difficult situation. I remember I had this question for years. Why? I mean, I became a devotee when I suffered, and I wanted to get out of suffering. And I was thinking, why does it have to be suffering? Why can't I realize Krishna by becoming filthy rich? Oh Krishna, thank you so much. Why do I have to lose people? Why do I have to lose things? Why do I have to run into brick walls to turn to Krishna? Why can't I just become a devotee by, I don't know, inheriting something? Silly question. Yeah. Has anyone had that experience? Your faith enhancing by receiving something?
You inherited us devotees.
Yeah.
We've all inherited each other. We got a family that we have a family, and that's the most important thing. You know, you can have $1 million, but if you don't have anyone to love, then what's the use, really? I mean, so you know, we have each other, and Krishna gives. It's amazing. We start. Adi always says the true Adi, you might want to say that the true sign of wealth is what are the things that don't what Adi, what is that saying that you said the true sign of wealth is what?
Yeah, Hasidic Jewish people say, who is a wealthy man? Can you hear me?
Yep.
One who is satisfied with whatever the Lord gives.
Right. And the Lord always gives us someone to love if we're lovable, if we love. I can't remember who was saying it, but you can't, like, I have no friends. Well, just be friendly and you will find friends.
Well, the saying is that you can't have a friend.
Right. That's what you were saying.
You
Yeah.
can have a toaster or a cell phone. We can be a friend to everyone. We can be a friend. You can't have a wife, but you can be a husband. You can't have a husband, but you can be. We can give, and then the role is there.
Yeah. Ananda Bihari, you can't.
Selfish.
You don't have troubles. You are troubled.
Thank you.
Krishna, can I just have that downtown apartment with the pool so I can serve Gaur Sharan? He can come and swim in it. Yeah. Why can't I have that, Krishna?
Oh, that was all night for me. I'm going to sleep here. He's about to get to go away. Every day a different person blows the punch, and every day it's different. I mean, right. That was powerful.
That was my thought yesterday. There's a lottery apartment that has a pool. I was like, I'll have the brahmacharis over. They'll swim in the pool.
Brahmachari swimming in the pool.
That's the last thing I want in my pool.
Yeah. Service. I bow down to Lucy, great awe and reverence. By his grace, one can cross the ocean of material suffering and obtain the mercy of Krishna. My only wish is to have my consciousness purified by the words emanating from his lotus mouth. Attachment to his lotus feet is a perfection that fulfills all desires. He opens my darkened eyes and fills my heart with transcendental knowledge. He is my Lord, birth after birth. From him, ecstatic prema emanate, and by him ignorance is destroyed. The Vedic scriptures sing of his character. Our spiritual master is the ocean of mercy, friend of the poor and the Lord of master of the devotees. O Master, be merciful unto us. Give us a shade of your lotus feet. May your fame be spread all over the three worlds. We take shelter at your lotus feet.
Thank you, Jai Nitai Prabhu. Jai Srila Prabhupada, Jai Sri Arjuna Prabhu. Hare Krishna, welcome to the Afterglow. Thank you very much. Wonderful discussion. I felt like I was in Naimisharanya forest, surrounded with sages. Would anyone like to speak? Yes, no? Okay. Isaiah, Annabelle. Annabelle, please put that hat on and recite the mantra as loud as you can. Oh, we lost them.
Isaiah.
Where are you? Okay, there they are. All right, go ahead.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Great. That's a great wake-up call. Thank you so much. Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Madan Gopal Prabhu ki jai. All
I
these
think Annabelle put a
Vaishnavas.
spell on us.
She did that a long time ago. She already cast a spell on us.
Yeah. Okay, happy Friday. We love you and we need you. Thank you for your association. Hare Krishna.
Thank you all.